Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My voice died there. Anyway, how are you all doing? Welcome back. And in today's video, we are going to be covering PT Theris TLC or Ability TLC and some little updates to the rest of their mods that they've done. They've done 4 mod updates, Theri included in that, so 3 others that will also be in this video. And yeah, so anyway, if you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe, helps me out an absolute ton. And let's get straight into this. So, Therizinosaurus, they have not given it any new animations or anything except for new abilities. They have, however, given it new stats to match with vanilla. So, they've increased the health from 700 to 800, increased the armor to 1.1, increased trot speed to 400, changed the stamina recovery, health recovery. They've also lowered the volume of the calls. Increased the volume of the calls by 33%. They've decreased the combat weight from 6,100 to 5,000, which is less than T-Rex now. They've decreased the cooldown on claw attack and the damage, and then they've added some new abilities, which we will cover. So, obviously, starting off with the new abilities, it has got 2 new passives. EP, I think is how you say it, probably not. When hitting an opponent, gain touch. Getting 3 touches gives a burst of health, so that's like a heal thing, I think. So every 3 hits, you get health. And then Ironclad Quills. Plus 10% armor, the first section of your tail and hips have quills that reflect your damage. So, this basically means that every Theri sub now has reflect damage. It was only just 1, but now they all have it. Then we've got Lunge. Lunge forward to do heavy damage, gain 2 stacks of touch after landing an attack. Let's have a look at that real quick. Okay. What? Wait, did I just get airborne as a Theri? Hold on, let's have a look at that again. Okay, yeah, Theri can jump now. Theri actually lunges forward. I think that's like an 8-second cooldown. But that gains 2 stack of touches. So you do that, land another hit, you get heals. Pretty good. Then we have the bite. It's just the normal bite. They've not changed that. Then senses. We've got Alez. Upon entering combat, gain double the acceleration for 20 seconds and has a 60-second or a minute cooldown. And Gambit. After dodging with back dodge or sidestep, gain no stamina cost and 20% damage increase to thrust for a short period of time. So that's pretty cool, actually. It ties in very well with the other new abilities that they've got, but you'll have to wait for that. Then we've got Front Limb, Claw Attack, Charge Bleed Claw Attack, and Blockade. Now, the only 2 things that changed here is I don't believe this one, the Charge Bleed Claw Attack, I don't believe it does armor piercing anymore, and Blockade actually says what it does properly. So it reduces incoming damage by 90% rather than just blocking damage. But nothing else has changed with these attacks. They're exactly the same. I'm pretty sure this is just the Claw Barrage animation, but they put it on the normal claw. So Claw Barrage is actually gone, and they just changed the animation on the regular attack to the Claw Barrage attack. So that's the only thing that changed there. Metabolism, they're the same. Then we have Hides. So this one you spawn in with Impulsive Recovery, increases stamina recovery by 25% while bleeding or envenomed. Then you have Stored Energy, taking hits while blocking, grants a stacking 2.5 damage boost up to 10% for 10 seconds, stacks degrade over time. And Rugged Hide, increase bleed, fracture, poison, venom, and toxin heal by 40%. And Serrated Edge, reflect damage now deals bleed and less damage. So you do bleed with your Ironclad reflect damage, but you do a bit less damage you reflex less damage. There's an easier way of saying it. Then we've got Legs, Spurred Legs during the night gain 25% more acceleration. I think it already had that. And Strong Legs take 60% less knockback and 15% increased fracture healing. You can potentially have up to 55% fracture heal. That's wild, I think. Then we have Back Limbs. So, Backstep, dodge backwards to bait abilities, and Sidestep, a leaping dodge to the left or the right based on camera direction. So, these do have a shorter cooldown. I've got another ability which I'll go through now, actually. Coiled Movement reduces cooldowns and stamina cost of dodges. Fluid Movement reduces damage taken while dodging. I will take the stam cost and cooldown change one off just so you guys can see. So here is the back dodge. Uses a bit of stamina, 2-second cooldown. And you see that buff we get, gains bonus damage and low stamina cost. And then we have the side dodge. So what this side dodge actually does is it works directionally. but it doesn't push you in the direction you're looking. It pushes you and turns you a little bit away from the direction you're looking, which I think is pretty cool. And also that effect, you can technically have that forever. It lasts longer than the dodges, and this is with their normal cooldown. That's with the normal cooldown. Oh my god. Wait, that's kinda busted. You can keep that forever. But that is basically everything I have for PT. This isn't the default, by the way. They've not changed any subs or animations for movement. Oh my god, or anything like that. It's simply just an ability TLC. Anyway, let's move on to Mape. So here we are with Mape Macrothornax, PT's good old Mape, and this has the smallest amount of changes from their little update. Uh, Basically, it has less health from 650 to 600, and it has less combat weight. So instead of having 3,750, it now has 3,500. They also have changed Juke. So Juke now carries your momentum, or maintains it. So if I sprint and then Juke, yeah, you can see that my momentum doesn't stop. I don't stop and spin. I get to spin on the move. So that, they've not changed too much with me. But they've done a little bit. I think the Duke add-on like that's pretty cool. I think that's good. There's a bit of foot sliding because obviously it's the same animation, just it gets to move whilst doing it now. But I think it's a good addition. Just the little turn you get to do. I also didn't know it was directional, but hey, learn new things every time. And this is Parasaurolophus. So these next two are PT's probably biggest mods that people like, and they have followed with the vanilla balancing in terms of stats. So, Parasaurolophus, they have decreased the health from 1,150 to 950, which is 25 less than Spino, but a little bit more than Bars Polio. Oh, actually, no. I think it's the same as Bars. I don't remember Bars' health after this update. They've also increased the armor to 1.1 from 1. Then they've changed the bleed, poison, venom, toxin, stamina, heal, and recovery rates to match with vanilla. They've also increased tail lash damage from 5 to 15 and added Ironclad as a passive. So, if you can see here, for some reason it says it's locked, but it is equipped. Ironclad just increases your armor by 10%. So, I'm pretty sure that they're going to eventually update all their mods, because one of the mods that they never updated with vanilla stats was their Giga. But now that they've done Theri, because that one was also left behind, hopefully Giga will get to be in line with vanilla stats, because currently it's really, really good. Anyway, moving on to PT's Tyrannosaurus Rex. And here we are. So, PT's Rex. Now, this thing has been heavily, heavily changed quite frequently recently, I'd say. Every couple of updates it gets... Ooh, magic rat. Every couple of updates it gets a lot of changes, and people seem to think it's been nerfed and they hate it. Kind of can agree. It does get weaker. But this update, I don't think does that. I think this update doesn't change it too much. So, they have lowered the health to 800 from 1,150, increased the base armor to 1.1, changed all the bleeding, stamina, toxin, venom, poison, heal rates, and all that. They've also improved the walk, trot, and run turn rate by about 10%. So you can see I'm turning a little bit better, like a good 10% better. They've also they've decreased bite damage from 70 to 60. They've increased bite chew fracture amount from 0 to 7.5. So PT's Rex never actually did fracture with its chew, but now it does. So if you grab something and chew, you will now do fracture. They've also decreased the sprint stamina cost, so it can run for longer, increased tail lash damage from 5 to 15, so your knockback tail does more damage now. They've also decreased the power couple status healing boost to 25%, it was 50, and they've increased terrible raw stamina cost to 10%. So this one, sorry, not 10%, it now costs 10 stamina instead of 5. They've also added Ironclad, so PT Rex got basically 20% armor, because increasing base armor from 1 to 1.1 is giving it 10% armor, and then they've basically just added an ability which gives it another 10%. So that's basically 20%, unless like the 1.1 improvement is just Ironclad. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 10. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it's 20 because the numbers line up. But anyway, that is probably going to cover everything that PT has done with their mods. I'm a little bit happy that they changed Theory. I'm not gonna lie, the new abilities it has, pretty cool. They're mainly just like passives and senses and stuff like that, but they're really cool. And the fact that they actually updated the Theory to have new stats, this is good. And they removed Claw Barrage, because that thing was broken. Theory could face tank T-Rex with Claw Barrage. It was wild. But those days are now behind us. Anyway, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and also check the description. There will be a link to my Discord down below. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.